What's up, guys and gals? Iceman here. Welcome to Chilling Tales. Appreciate y'all for coming by. Like this video if you will, subscribe to the page, and pull the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. Links in the description below. So Evelyn was a young, feeble female with her whole life ahead of her. It almost pains for me to bring this one up. Those who knew her would say she was somewhere on the spectrum. High functioning, she's able to drive a car, able to work a job, just a bit dyslexic, and then some. Her mother had her at an older age. Mother was about 42 years old, I believe, when they had Evelyn. She was unexpected. And the problem is the parents, soon after Evelyn's birth, became addicts of various kinds. Alcoholics, addicted to painkillers, and so forth. These folks lived in northern Michigan. She was a beautiful young woman with her whole life ahead of her. Evelyn was only 27 years of age at the time of this attack. Very lean, fragile figure about her. These nice sky blue eyes. Almost like you're looking into her soul, if you were to look into them. Her hair was long and dark, a little bit of reddish intertwined within. Very pale olive skin. Very intelligent. She would study the flowers, study animals, which unfortunately I think took part in her falling. So, in northern Michigan, bear attacks aren't very common. I've told a couple of them on this channel, and yes, at times they are deadly. I myself have seen bears in northern Michigan. I remember I went to the Upper Peninsula many years back with my family when I was just a young little duck. We went to an ice cream shop, and there were these black bears just hanging out by the garbage cans, the dumpsters. Massive animals, just boom. Hulking beasts, and one was like 500 pounds. Granted, these things were a bit overweight because they would eat the trash, and the store owner, for whatever reason, never did anything about it. It's like they saw them as tourist attractions or something. People would drive by, they'd see the bears out by the garbage cans. So the people would stop and get ice cream. They'd eat the ice cream and watch the bears. In fact, I think that's what my family did. I just remember seeing 3 or 4 of those bears. They're only about 50 to 100 feet out from the picnic table we were eating the ice cream on. All right, there were the dumpsters. Then behind the dumpsters are just the wilderness that stretched back as far as the mind could imagine. One bear was on top of the dumpster. One was lying on the ground. One was sort of in the background, just sort of standing up, just watching us. Probably just waiting for us to go throw something else in there. I don't know, but the bear that attacked Evelyn was something like that. Pretty large Bruin. So Evelyn liked to garden. She lived with her parents. She worked a job. They charged her a couple $100 rent. She had a couple boyfriends that would come in and out. Her parents didn't filter them through all that much because they had their own problems. Boys with problems would come in, come out. This little Evelyn girl, I don't know, just probably taken advantage of by some of them. She kind of acted like a child. A sort of youthful, innocent spirit about her, which might have partly been due to her condition. Just don't really know, but there's a little garden house at the edge of the property. The parents had this beautiful property. Little garden house, and then behind it was just a big stretch of wilderness. It was an open area where the garden house was. The sun glistening in. So that's where she had her garden. She'd grow tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, and so forth. This attack happened in the fall. Now, Evelyn loved animals, as mentioned, and she studied the bears. She got close with the bears in the past. She would follow them to the tree, watch them climb up the tree with the mom. The mom looking down at Evelyn like she was something off, something awkward about this young girl. But black bears aren't as aggressive as brown bears or grizzlies. I've seen this happen with my own eyes when I was in Tennessee. Kings Code Drive. Look that up if you haven't. I remember this was 15 years ago. I remember folks surrounding a tree with a black bear going up it and its little cubs following behind it. And these people were surrounding the tree with their little cameras out, little iPhones out and stuff, just trying to tape the thing. The bear was terrified. An horrible thing to do, but nonetheless, the bear kept their reserve for a later day, perhaps. But Evelyn got close to the young bears. One time, she actually reached out her little finger. "Hello, what's your name?" And the little bear touched her finger with its nose and pulled back, almost afraid. And the mother bear was in the distance, just watching this entire endeavor take place. "Oh, would you come home with me? You're so cute," she'd whisper to the animal. Fortunately, the young cub pulled away and ended up going back to its mother, and they hustled along and vanished into the wilderness. But on this fateful day, unfortunately, such luck wasn't with her. So Evelyn was at the little garden shed, and it was known about this girl. She kept herself up relatively well. But those who knew her knew that she kind of smelled of piss. All right. Now, I don't know if it was due to the fact that she would often roll on the ground with the family dogs, or did you just not know how to clean herself all that well? I don't know. But she reeked of it often. Maybe she just wasn't all that cleansly, or maybe it was the damn dog. I don't know. But nonetheless, I can't help but wonder if that's why the bear made its move. It might have smelt that aroma in the air around this girl. And the bears will mark their territory in such a way. So when they smell that in the air, I can't help but wonder if they almost see it as a competition. And maybe by the time it realized it was coming from this young human, it was too late. So Evelyn was gathering her items to garden with, and the bear must have been right around the corner of this little garden house. I'm guessing it was marking its territory, taking a piss on the side of the house. And Evelyn was in there just screwing up her little wheelbarrow with some garden trinkets. She was about to go out there in the late evening and just finish up on a couple things. And she ended up going out with her little wheelbarrow outside of the garden house, and the bear caught her right around the corner. She startled the thing, and that's where the whole scuffle took place. It left a mess. It left a disaster. It left a wreckage. People say that the attack site looked as though a rototiller went through it. Just ground dug up everywhere. Dirt and worms and blood everywhere. The bear must have gotten a hold of her skinny little body. It buried those long bacteria-ridden teeth into her little arm. She must have fought to a degree. The bear had these scuff marks all around its eyeballs. Maybe Evelyn did listen to her father. Well, I don't know how much he actually liked the young girl, but at least he was looking out for her life. She grabbed the bear. She, with her fingernail, she ripped into its eyes and its skull. There was these cut marks around its eyeballs. A big graze around one of its eyes, but it just wasn't enough. Part of its lip was ripped off. Her little pinky got stuck in there when the bear was chewing on her skull. You can tell that because her pinky was half missing. And the bear had this nasty gouge around its lip right here. Like she got it like a fish hook. I think that's what her dad told her. Is like, if anybody comes at you, get their lips like a fish hook and try to get them off you like this, Evelyn. I think she was more talking about human predators, but she tried it with the bear, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out all that well for her, but maybe it bought her some time. So the bear ravaged her body. It must have gotten atop her and just shredded into her. And these nasty, long, yellow, bacteria-ridden claws just raked across her back. You could see she was just wearing this little sundress that whole time. So in the ground, there was fragments, materials of this dress, and blood, and her pale skin. What a contrast it was to the massive gouges. Just the massive gaping wounds, the festering wounds, the blood, the red blood against that nice pale skin. What a horror this was. It dragged her about 50 feet from the garden house. And you could see on the ground, Evelyn was trying to pull herself away from her fingernails on the ground like she was getting dragged away. You could just see the rake marks in the ground from her just trying to, with her last gasps, trying to survive this massacre. The bear took her about 50 feet out, behind a couple trees, dug a little pit for a little cache is what they call them. Black bears often act in such a way. They'll mutilate their victims, partially eat them, and then bury them into a cache. And unfortunately, this bear shit and pissed all over the cache as well. So when the onlookers came on, they could smell it, and they couldn't tell if it was Evelyn's piss or the bear's. But they knew it was a horror scene they stumbled upon. Evelyn's face was gouged, her eyeball was missing, her ear was ripped off her head. Her head was still intact. Part of her breast was eaten off, and part of her thigh. It was just a mangled, disgusting mess that this creature left. Her parents inquired, Evelyn, where are you? Evelyn! Started yelling for her. They couldn't find her. They called the cops. Scoured the area, and as mentioned, they found her about 50 yards from that damn garden shed. This was late that night when they finally found her. That bear was just standing over it with his eyes glowing. And his face torn up from the mess, its eyeball with a gash to it, its lip torn and bloodied. It's pissed, because the girl put up a fight. But this black bear persevered nonetheless. And what was it about? Wasn't a very big one. It was about a 250-pound bruin. I mean, I don't know if you could say this is predatory, this is stalking. I think she surprised it. And I think those unusual smells that emitted from Evelyn might have intrigued the animal. I don't really know, but it's just my speculation here. I've covered a lot of bear attacks on this channel. I've heard of a lot of things, all right? But I mean, this one is just a bit unusual. It's hard to say, but nonetheless, the bear was protective of its cache. It was very territorial. It bluff charged them a couple times, the Rangers, when they came out. They had to shoot the damn thing down. And that's when they discovered all the gouge marks all over its face and its lip. But little Evelyn, that was it for her. Her parents mourned her life. Her siblings mourned. But I just don't know. They kept going in their ways, and I don't really know how well they were after all that. But these bear attacks, they live on in the counties they happen in. The stories, the nightmares, the tales haunt the children in the area and the regions. And you just never know. You got to be safe out there in bear country. So I'm telling you guys, be cautious. Carry your pepper spray. Bring your hand cannon with you if you have one. Make sure you follow the laws. I know I have one. Bring your shank. I got myself a shank here, like the fixed blade ones. All right, the fixed blade ones, you're stabbing a bear with it in self-defense. The blade's not going to fold over and chop your fingers off. Get yourself a full tang fixed blade knife, shank, all right? But I'm just saying, you got to be careful out there. And I appreciate you all. Let me know your thoughts on this bear attack in the comments below, and I'll see you all soon with more chilling tales from the Iceman.